Hello, I picked up Assassin's Creed Syndicate when it came out so I could review it for you. I first played Assassin's Creed on Xbox 360 when Black Flag came out, and then I played Rogue on the same system, so my observations are based on that experience. A quick note for parents, this game is rated M for mature due to blood, drug reference, strong language, and violence. It delivers on all of these things, so be sure to consider that before getting it for a young child. First things first, all I gotta say is, wow, this game looks and sounds amazing. London has distinctly different socioeconomic areas. The Thames is murky, the skies are polluted, and the vehicles smoke just like you'd expect a coal-fired steam engine to belch out that thick black smoke. This game looks so good you could almost use it to go sightseeing. I was disappointed that they don't include a music CD with the package because I'm sure it would be nice to listen to on its own. The level of detail really immerses you in the game. The ambient noises are great in this game. There are musicians in various places, and the instruments you hear reflect the instruments being played in the game. You can hear the bells tolling on the hour throughout the city, various whistles from steam trains and ships, people having conversations. What I'm trying to get at here is that you can tell the developers took a lot of time and put a lot of effort into making this game very detailed. Oh, speaking of details, here's one of my favorites. Making this guy fall off his boat. So this game is a lot like the older Assassin's Creed games, but with even more and finer detail. One thing I did not like about the older Assassin's Creed games I played is the way that the game is kind of couched inside another game. Like you're this person working at a company called Abstergo, using a computer to experience memories extracted from DNA samples.
Fantastic work. Very promising. Welcome back.
The part of the game where you played as the assassin was the memories, right? It was sort of a neat idea, but I thought it disrupted the gameplay significantly and it didn't add anything useful to the stories. Syndicate starts you off at Abstergo with some cutscenes, but thankfully they've removed all the interruptions that distracted from the gameplay of all the earlier episodes of this franchise. Another difference worth mentioning is that this latest game, Syndicate, doesn't have any pirate-themed stuff going on. I really enjoyed the swashbuckling of Black Flag and Rogue. Those may have been the best pirate games I've ever played. Don't worry though, Syndicate has its own good parts. Now that all that stuff is out of the way, let's get to this. One of the first things you find out is that you don't play just one person in this game. You play two.
Two assassins. Equal in height, one female, one male. 2 decades old, and those devilish smiles. You must be the Fry twins.
There are some differences in the skill tree based on which character you're playing. Evie is geared more toward stealth, and Jacob is geared more toward fighting.
My mistake. Ladies and gentlemen, the unstoppable Fry twins.
You start the game off by playing through 2 tutorial missions. One as Jacob, concentrating more on combat mechanics, and one as Evie, concentrating more on stealth mechanics. I was concerned at first because these tutorials are really linear with no open world aspect to them at all. Long story short though, when you're done with the tutorials, you find yourself in London, which is very open and very large.
I've never seen so many people all at once.
Churning seas of London. It's just the way Father described.
Whitechapel is riddled with crime. Child labor, despite regulations. A gang known as the Blighters overruns the streets, and Templars manipulating behind the scenes. As in all the other boroughs, we need to return this city to the people who built it in the first place.
There are several boroughs in London, and a lot of time will be spent liberating these boroughs from the Blighters, a street gang that controls the entire city. The other main part of the storyline is searching for an artifact that the Templars are also trying to get. The way the game sets the story up for you, you're supposed to use Jacob to liberate the city, and Evie to do the Templar quests. The game sets you up early by introducing several NPC associates.
Evie Fry and her brother, Jacob.
Alexander Graham Bell.
Linguist, inventor, and technical expert.
These associates have quests for you, and the quests will reward you with equipment upgrades and progression of the main storyline.
Oh, looks like the casing is cracked.
Jacob starts his own gang and calls it the Rooks. So you have the Rooks against the Blighters, trying to fight for control of the boroughs of London. The boroughs are divided up into smaller districts, and you have to complete the main gang-related objective for each district before the borough is under your control. You can do these district quests in any order, and once they're all completed, it unlocks something called a gang war, which is the final step to gaining full control of the borough. At some point as you're completing these sub-quests, the Blighters boss from the borough you're working in will show up with a bunch of Blighters to challenge you. He or she will say some choice words, and then the gang attacks. During this attack, the boss tries to leave. However, if you chase after and kill the boss, the gang war that unlocks after you've completed all these district quests will be much easier because the boss has already been eliminated.
I always knew the Rooks were strong, but I didn't think you stood a chance against the Bludger. There isn't much standing in your way now.
This borough belongs to us! Westminster is ours! Ladies and gentlemen, we are Jacob and Evie Fry. And as of this moment, you all work for us.
The types of quests you have to finish in order to progress on the borough liberation are as follows.
What is this place?
It's nice to meet you both at last. This is Babylon Alley. Here we make it our business to know the streets and provide children with the opportunity to control their own destinies.
During the Industrial Revolution, child labor was a common thing, and since you're such a good guy, or gal, you get to free children from factories as one of the quests. It's called Child Liberation Quests.
It'll be all right.
You're very kind.
And when you do this, it increases your favorability with one of the NPCs that you met early on and grants you access to better equipment. This is true of all the district liberation quests, by the way, and really it's true of almost all the quests in the game. Another district quest category is the bounty hunt. These quests can be tricky because in order to get the best rewards, you have to bring back the fugitive alive, which is not always easy. Another district quest is called the Templar Hunt. This is an assassination quest where you have to go in and kill one of the Templar's operatives to liberate the district he or she occupies. The last district liberating quest I'll talk about is called the Gang Stronghold. And what you do in this one is you go into a specific area of the district and wipe out a bunch of blighters. So you go through this process for each borough, and when you're done, you control all of London. These and other NPC associate quests are the keys to progressing the storyline, The only piece of advice I'll give you when it comes to NPC associates is to help Ned Dysert early on, because Ned gives you quests that unlock some really good money-making activities like train robberies, shipment hijacking, and boat raids. There are so many things to do in this game, it's a little overwhelming to go into details about all of it, so here's a summary of some of them. In various spots on the map, you can pick up carriage races, and depending on which one you're doing, the objective will be different, but the result is the same. If you win the race or complete it satisfactorily, you get money and experience. There's also a fight club, and each district has its own fight club ring where you can go and do hand-to-hand combat with either Jacob or Evie. It gets a little challenging, especially toward the end, and the only tip I can give you for this is to pay attention to when your opponents are about to strike. You see a little yellow light go on over their head. As long as you hit the B button whenever you see that yellow light, they won't be able to gang up on you and hit you, beat you up.
Shall we put your skills to the test with another round?
As you walk around, the game alerts you to random events like assassinating a courier or scaring away some thugs that are bothering regular citizens. There are also hidden collectibles like pressed flowers, letters from royalty, and beer bottles that you can collect for experience. At some point, you'll come across a gear icon on your map, and this icon is the location of the first music box in London. When you examine it, you find a disc.
My God, this is Michel Rouge's vault.
Michael Rourke's vault? It can't be.
You have no idea who that is, do you?
I'm the foggiest.
This is the Secrets of London side quest, and there are 32 of these music boxes hidden in London. In your progress menu, there are clues that are pictures about where the discs are hidden. If you can figure out from the pictures where to look, they're not too hard to find. Each one of these discs is part of a larger key that unlocks a vault, and the vault contains a really cool assassin outfit for Evie. One more thing about the game that I find really cool is that your base is on a moving train. You can collect money from your gang activities out of your safe. You can go from car to car and talk to NPCs for quests. Change your equipment. Refill your consumables from your inventory using the black market guy at the end of the train. The game developers were nice enough to include a window so you can sightsee from different angles on the train, like this. You can build your characters in 3 skill trees. By the end, you'll have them all filled out, so how you do this probably doesn't matter too much. The gang upgrade menu also has 3 trees to choose from. As with your other upgrades, you will most likely end up fully upgraded in every category before the end of the game. The only advice I have about gang upgrades is to purchase the ones that increase your income early on so that you have more spending money as the game rolls forward. The most important thing about all these areas you can upgrade in is to just be sure that when you gain access to improvements that you remember to do it, because it does make the game a bit easier, especially at the higher levels. A few more things before we close this out. This is Assassin's Creed, so there's quite a bit of fighting and stealth tactics. Your weapons are a little less varied than in earlier episodes of the series, but some things have remained. You still have smoke bombs and a pistol, and you can shoot hallucinogenic darts that make your opponents attack their allies. The other weapons you have to choose from are kukri, bladed canes, and brass knuckles. One cool thing, and this is a new thing that they put in Syndicate, is the rope launcher.
Yeah. Oh, I've removed the mechanism so it may work with your bracer.
I'll put it to use immediately.
It shoots a cable dart that can be used to climb buildings really quickly. So it's great for quick escapes. And it can also be used as a zip line when you're traveling across rooftops, which is a very common theme with Assassin's Creed games. There aren't any bushes or cornfields that conceal your assassin like in Black Flag and Rogue.
Something's out there.
But you can still use corners and closets like you did in the other two games. You can also duck into carriages out on the street if you need to hide from someone real quick. Just make sure that the carriage is not moving. Other than stealth techniques, there's not a lot of strategy to this game. There is a ton of stuff to do with all the side quests and collectible items in the maps, and London is huge. If you're not familiar with Assassin's Creed and you're looking for a game with lots of replay value, where you're role-playing and you want to try to get different endings, this isn't it. Assassin's Creed is more like a game that you play as thoroughly as you can and try to find all the hidden stuff. There's not a lot of role-playing, meaning the outcome will be the same every time you play it.
Oh, you are Jacob Fry, are you not? And Miss Fry?
We're at a disadvantage, sir.
Karl Marx. Much like you, I am an activist of sorts.
The characters are voiced really well, it has a great soundtrack, and it looks absolutely amazing. I don't really do numerical ratings, but what I will say is that if you like Assassin's Creed games, you will like this too. It's really good. Thanks for watching, and look for my Fallout 4 review in a couple weeks when it comes out.